This episode of Front Page Tech is sponsored by ProcessorHosting.com. What's going on, guys? Welcome to a very special episode of Front Page Tech. As requested today, instead of giving news, I'm going to give you a full tour of the studio and all the equipment that I'm using. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. Here's the intro. So a short disclaimer before I actually start this tour. I just want to mention that I didn't get all this equipment at once. That didn't happen. It slowly built up. I have another channel on YouTube called Creative Basics, and on there I started out doing skits and short films and stuff. I'm very, very much into cinematography and audio work, so that's just an obsession of mine to make everything kind of perfect, or as perfect as I can get it. So this equipment slowly built up. So with that said, I'm going to start now. Alright, so for the remainder of this video, I'm going to be using my iPhone to record this, just so I can get all the equipment. And so yeah, I'm going to back up a little bit just to kind of show you the room. This is the front. And excuse the video if it's not completely, perfectly in focus. The reasoning for this is because up there I have CFL bulbs, which are a pure white bulb, which really throws the camera off. So there's the other side of the room. This is just a basic white photography sheet. It's just thicker than a normal sheet, and basically the purpose of that is so it doesn't fade or turn yellow eventually. So to light the backdrop, I have two soft boxes, one there and one there, and they are 1500 watts each right now. At least that's what they're set up to do right now, and that is to make sure that I blow out this background and get a completely white backdrop during the show. So here's a better look at the softbox. As you can see, inside it takes 4 CFL bulbs, same as the other one. And then right there is another softbox. It actually has 3 diffuser sheets on it. The other 2 are from that. And that is to make sure my face isn't blown out. The light doesn't blow out my face in the camera. And the reason I have them off of these ones right here is to get a harsher light on the background, because I do want to blow that out. And you're probably like, whoa, John, what the heck is all over the walls? Well, it's actually not just on the wall. It's on the ceiling, too. And these lights are obviously usually not on while I'm filming. I turn them off so I can show you the softboxes without blinding everything. But this foam is actually bed foam. Usually goes on your bed to make it softer. These are, I think, twin size. Yeah, twin. And I had them on the walls, cut up, and in the corners to stop the echo in the room. Because the first episode there was a lot of echo, because this room, other than having my equipment in it, is completely empty. So I put this up there to stop the echo. So yeah, that helps the sound a lot. And they do have professional grade foam, but for a little square that's up there in the corner, it'll cost like $100. So I'm not doing that. This works just fine, and it's the ugliest aspect of the room. So, moving right along. Over here you can see a desk of randomness. We'll start up at the top, I guess. Right here you can see spare light bulbs, and here is a CFL. These are the ones with mercury in it, so if they break, then you have to call poison control and evacuate and move to Texas or something. I don't know. But those are my spare light bulbs. Here is a 50mm lens for my camera. This gives you that cinematic depth of field, the blurry background. But I don't really use that during the show, obviously, because I don't need to, really. I have a white background, there's no reason to blur it out. Right here I have an SD memory card adapter. I have a spare battery for something or other. This is a spare battery for my mic. Yes, it takes small ones. These are windscreens for my mic, and this I don't use currently. This is the Technica 2020 condenser microphone, usually, for your desk use, but I don't use that. So that just kind of sits there. So let's move down here, shall we? Right here is a box for something that I will show you in a second. These go to my lamps that aren't in this room right now. Ooh, look, a spare light bulb. Right here is aluminum foil. I don't use this right now, but if I wanted to block out some light, that's what I would use to do that. And then these are spare parts to my light stands right there. And then, oh look, Windows Vista. There's a reason it's in here, I'm sure, but I think that's a good place for it. Right here is alcohol, and I use this to clean my screens. whether it be my touchscreen on my phone or my lenses. I love using alcohol for that. Some people say don't use it. I definitely recommend it because, first of all, it gets everything really, really clean and disinfects everything. Second of all, it leaves no streaks. And third, it smells good. So, yeah, that's that. And then below, I have a laser jet printer. Isn't that nice? So right there, plugged into the wall, is that extension cord that's rolled up right there. That comes over here and over here and goes to this. Now, if I flip the switch on this, all my lights turn on. So there's my front softbox, and then there's these two. Now, I recently got these softboxes, and one of the cool things that I really like about them is I have the option of choosing how much power I want to give them. So you can see two switches right here, right there, and right there. And there's 4 light bulbs in there. This will turn off the top 2 light bulbs, and this will turn off the bottom 2. In this softbox, I actually only have 1 light bulb put in there, along with the diffuser sheets. Alright, so let's move on to equipment. On my little makeshift table here, I have the equipment, at least audio equipment, that I use during the show. This is my Zoom H1, which is an external recorder. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. And this is the mic that I use for the show. This is a lapel mic. It clips to my shirt. You can probably see that in the show. Then I clip this to my pants somewhere, and then this plugs in to my Zoom H1. And now what this allows me to do is create sort of like a wireless system. Now lapel mics, such as the Sennheisers and stuff, they are thousands of dollars, and basically it's kind of like this, except it plugs into a transmitter that goes to your belt loop, and then the next transmitter goes, actually it would be the receiver, goes on top of the camera. Now, instead of spending thousands of dollars, this is my little setup here, and does the exact same thing for around $150. This is actually a mic that I got from Radio Shack, so it's definitely far from perfect, and I wouldn't recommend it unless you have an external recorder. So what makes this sound so good is this Zoom H1. Now, this is a necessity for me because whether I'm using the lapel mic or my Rode VideoMic, which we'll talk about in a second, I would plug it into this rather than in the camera. The reasoning for this is because this allows me to control all audio levels manually, which my camera doesn't allow me to do to the extent that I need. So if I try to do it, if I plugged it into the camera, you'd get a real strong hissing sound, which I can't stand. I need completely silent noise levels. So this is definitely a necessity for me. It controls all audio levels. And if I didn't want to plug in an external mic, there are 2 different condenser mics formed in an XY pattern on the top of the Zoom H1. This is about $100. And this right here is a case for the Zoom H1. It just kind of loops to one of my belt loops, and I put the Zoom in there, and then I of course put this on under my shirt and clip it to the collar of my shirt, and voila. Now over here, as I mentioned, is my Rode VideoMic. This is a shotgun condenser mic, meaning that it picks up audio from in front of it rather than the sides or the back of it, tries to block that out. This mic I got for about $100. It's usually more expensive than that, but I got a deal on it. This is usually plugged in actually to record audio backup. So if the battery dies in this, and I don't know about it because I don't have an indicator, unfortunately, this will back up for me so I at least get decent audio for that day's show. This right here is the star of the show. This is my Canon T3i, sporting an 18 to 55 millimeter lens. The light is throwing this off right now, but this is my baby. This is my beast. Right here, it's actually not this big. This right here is actually what they call a battery grip. I'll show you what that is. Basically, instead of using the batteries or the battery that comes with the camera, this actually goes right up to where the battery would usually plug into. So this plugs all the way up into there. And then this, if I unlatch this is actually a tray. I slide that out and it holds 2 batteries. So there's my Canon battery, and then there's a third-party battery that I got, I think, off of Amazon. But, so I charge 2 batteries, and then I can actually slide it right in and have double the battery life in my camera. So that is that. And then in this box that I mentioned earlier, there's actually another tray in it that's still in the packaging that will hold 6 AA batteries, and that will be backup in case the batteries in that tray die. So obviously you can see what this camera can do on the show, but you only get to see it from one aspect. Again, I have another channel on YouTube called Creative Basics. On there, I use this camera for short films and skits and whatnot, and then you can really see what it can do when it comes to videography. So that is it for the show and the tour today, guys. If you want to take a look at any of this equipment further, or you're interested in buying it or want to see the price, all the links for everything I have is down below in the description. I put it all there for you. So if you're interested, go ahead and take a look at that. And all the links are from the exact places I got these things from. So if you like today's show or any of the previous shows, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you stay up to date all the time with what I'm doing, and I will see you tomorrow. Later.